All right, good morning, everyone. We're gonna call our membership committee meeting to order. And from Ms. Amy, we're gonna get our roll call.
Bambi Polizzola,
Here.
Vivian Webb,
Here.
Nicole Banks,
Here,
Rashad Bristow, Christy Gonzalez. With 3 members in attendance, you have a quorum.
all right, we're gonna proceed. So we're gonna go to the scoring of the self-advocate candidates. Everybody should have some packets in front of them. And I know that we all we just reviewed the people that we interviewed. But we have a chance right here to at least look at the scores.
Sharing the scoring sheet. Here. Bigger like that. So just so that everybody is aware, we have 4 open self-advocate seats. One of those self-advocate seats must be filled by federal law, must be filled by somebody who either currently lives in an institution or has lived in an institution in the past. We had 3 people apply who met that requirement, and 2 of those were interviewed. So the only one who was interviewed was Eddie Hickman. The other people interviewed were just general self-advocate applicants who could fill any other seat that we have open. I put the regions here so that people could see where people were applying from, but regions were all based, it was all coming out of the Acadiana area and a little bit out of Baton Rouge this time. So when you're making decisions regionally, you don't have a lot of option there. So that is what it is. When it comes to the racial demographics of the council, because we do have to make sure that our council reflects the state census demographics. Our council more than reflects the diversity of the state. So we have more people on our council that are African-American than the state percentage. So our racial demographics also don't need to play a huge factor in this decision. There are times when it does, but this time it does not. Yeah.
I have a question about the scoring. How did the people get or won in that last one if 2 people interviewed them?
We had 5 people on the committee, and if 3 people joined up, it would cause a quorum. So Rashad Bristow, as overall chair of the council, interviewed, there were 2 people, and he was the sole person who interviewed them.
Because we can't look at the scores as reflective.
Well, it's not an average. It's just reflective of one person's interview with them.
So, but if we're looking at these scores in the total, that's not right. We need to see what the average would be, right?
Correct, if somebody else had interviewed them.
But you can't say that somebody got a 7 and somebody else got a 19, because you're saying
Right.
2 people score compared to 1 person getting the score. So that has to be.
That's correct. Right. And the people, those people are, let me just highlight them so that it's easier. No, not like that. The people that were just interviewed by 1 person were BJ Smith and Eddie Hickman. Everyone else was interviewed by 2 people, and we were able to get averages.
But you didn't put the average, is what I'm saying. It's like,
This is the average score. These are the average scores.
from the 2 people that.
From the 2 people that scored, these are the average.
okay, I got you.
Yeah. these
I
are the
was,
average.
okay.
Not a, so this maybe should say average total instead of just. Total.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Ms. Vivian.
So, is that reflective of only like what they got from one person interviewing the highlighted ones versus the others being interviewed by 2?
Correct.
Then shouldn't we divide the other ones by 2 except for the highlighted ones so we can like compare the scores?
Oh, to like kind of make it an even
That's what I
playing
was
field where she's trying to
thinking,
think,
Not
but,
average.
okay.
If we
Um,
divide it by 2, then it would even it out. So then
So I have the scores as scored. Would you prefer to look at it like that? So like when you and Bambi interviewed somebody, you sent me a set of scores and Bambi sent me a set of scores? Okay. So that would be this. It is not,
Oh, okay, I see.
it's not as easy to
No.
read,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay.
yeah, just to clear this one up.
Okay, so now that we have the score up there. It just looks like from what I'm looking at, the majority of your scores are averaging about what it was, except for a couple of them. So even if we took off the highest score on all of them, let's just say we just took off the highest score and went with the lowest score on all of them. And we can do it like that. Because now we see, you know, that might make it an even playing field.
can you please elaborate what you mean? Because I just took the numbers and the ones that were interviewed by 2 people, I divided their total by 2 to make it more even, and even then, the ones Rashad interviewed still ended up lower.
Yeah, they are going to, because their score is lower in all categories, because some of the categories, some of these people score higher, and then the other categories, they score lower. But in all categories, they look like they score lower in all of the categories. So that's, even if we do try to do that, they just didn't, right. Yeah, it's not there. Even if we try to take off the highest scores, it's still not there. The only thing I can possibly see is that we consider the ones that we have up here, and I know that we have to consider the federal law. And keep that part open, because we don't have to fill all of the positions. We don't have candidates to fill everyone. We don't have to fill all of the positions. We can still leave it open to where we still have some more qualified candidates that will satisfy our quorum. Yes, ma'am.
The way you worded it, saying taking off the top scores, but we didn't take off the top scores, I just made the numbers different to where it would be more reflective of what they got if one person interviewed them versus 2.
Okay.
Like the average.
So it's still the
Yeah,
same
divided by 2, yeah.
number, it's just I made the ratio equal.
Right. And it still was lower though, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
But I would
I can
also,
tell you the numbers.
Yeah, you can tell us the number if you don't mind sharing that with us.
In order, 9.5, the third one's still 7, the next one's 10, and then the next one's 9.5. The highlighted ones don't change.
Okay. There's still,
I would also note that while we try to be objective in the scoring, there's a rubric, there is some subjectivity. So, you know, I might see something as being a 4 or 3, and someone else might see it as a 2, you know? So like, I think it's still our job here today is to go and look at at all of their responses that were written and just make sure that we feel that aligns with the score that we're given from the interview. And there's not like like we're saying, like, how did this person get, this low of a score whenever their
Right.
application is wonderful or the opposite?
Right.
So I think that's part of our task today is to do that as well.
Correct. I agree with Bambi. Even though we don't have all of the scorings and only one person interviewed the other two people, the other two candidates, we still can go through their applications and look through them and see, what we come up with as a whole, as a group. And then we can do our comparison from that score and the scores that we feel like they should have had, just looking at it. Thank you. Oh. So. We will have to move into executive session to discuss.
Yes, if you're gonna
This.
discuss particulars about the
Mhm.
individuals and their.
We are.
disabilities and- Yep,
So I'm gonna ask that we
you need a
oh,
motion.
okay.
I'll make a motion that we move into executive session.
Hold on, I have a question first. For Tony's date of birth, it says he was born in 2023, but he wasn't.
Okay, we're gonna wait
Yeah,
until,
that's the it's just the application he filled out.
we're gonna wait until, we're just gonna hold questions because we have a motion on the floor. We're gonna just hold questions until we get our motion. Yeah, we need a second though.
I second the motion.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor with Ms. Bambi. That we move to executive session and second by Ms. Vivian. And we're gonna move to executive session.
And we'll start the YouTube back once y'all
Yeah,
move back.
we'll start